One of my favorite decades in music is the 80s because I am an 80s child born and raised. So I wanted to create a really cool sounding 80s preset with the NuX MG-300. So get out your blue nail polish, but leave your spandex in the closet. Nobody wants to see that. Get your 80s hair going, and let's go check that preset out. But before we get to it, take a second, click on that subscribe button down there. I promise you, there is tons of great information on my channel. I'd love to share it with you. I'd love for you to be along for the ride. If you're on Facebook, you can follow me there. If you're on Instagram, you can obviously follow me there too. Now, let's get to that preset. So let's go ahead and check out the signal path. Now, I wanted to create an 80s a la Scandal sort of sound, so I didn't want to make any sort of hair metal, which I might do in a future video. Let me know if you want to see something like that. So I opted to go with a booster rather than a traditional overdrive or distortion, and this just gives the guitar a little more grit. As far as the amp goes, I decided to go with a jazz chorus because if you're going to create an 80s tone, you have to use a jazz chorus, plain and simple. And you can also see that I opted to go with the U87 and put it dead center, which is a bit unorthodox because most 80s tones would be based on an SM57. But I like the way that the U87 sounded in this case, and from there I wanted to recover a little bit of the prickliness that I'd lost by using the U87, so I opted to go with the equalizer. And as I've said in the past, be very, very careful with the equalizer. You don't want to go over the top. It'll blow your ears right off, so just remember that, okay? Moving further to the right, we've got the noise gate, which I needed to have a little noise gate in this. Now, onto the modulation effect. With the modulation, I wanted to use a detune effect rather than opt for a traditional chorus or flanger because I just like the way it complemented the rest of the preset. Now, one thing you might not know about modulation effects on the MG-300 is that you can actually move it before the amp if you want to along the signal path, or you can put it behind after the amp. Now, I've kind of found over the years that I prefer to have it after the amp and have it like in the effects loop as it traditionally would be seen on an analog setup. But in this case, that's exactly what I opted to go with here. Okay, and I went with a digital delay because it's 80s again, so we must have a digital delay, low echo level, low amount of feedback, and just enough delay time to give me some good timing and just fill in the empty spaces but not be a slapback echo. And then I decided to round it off with a large Hall digital reverb. This is more akin to a lexicon. Now, two last things before we get to it. Make sure that you get a heavy pick. These work much better for creating that 80s tone, if you will, from the strings, because it gives you a nice scratch across the strings. The other thing, too, is use the jam function. Press the jam function, and you've got a drum machine to work with here, and this will give you something to practice with. So now, let's check out this preset. Okay, if that doesn't prove to you that the MG-300 is the chameleon of tones, I don't know what's going to do it. In the meantime, if you want this preset, use the link in the video description below, use it, and have fun with it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go get rid of this friggin' nail polish, and we'll see you soon. Well, thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any further questions, be sure to visit us at thepedalguide.com. But in the meantime, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and also be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for weekly videos and tutorials. Thanks for stopping by here at thepedalguide.com, where I love pedals and so do you.